How's it going, bros? It's your boy, PewDiePie. Just kidding. I am a very inferior content creator. But today I wanted to bring you all a little something special, straight from the DarkTome Labs. I have decided to bring you all a Prank Kids deck. And, I'm a very big fan of these little rascals of them. I think that they're very interestingly designed, and I definitely feel like they're fairly strong as a rogue deck, not very strong. Now I would like to point this out, this is pure Prank Kids, okay? This is not a hybrid deck like everyone else will make you believe. I'm not playing the Thunder Dragon engine. I really don't like the Thunder Dragon engine in this deck because it's a little cloggy. Too cloggy for me, actually. But let's just get right into it. So starting off, you're playing just 3 of every Prank Kid. You want at least 2 in your hand at all times. I mean, you really want 2 of them in your hand. Because any 2 of them, they will float if you fusion summon them, and you can just win from that point onwards, because if you can at least get a Poly and 2 of these in your hand, you have Harpy's Feather Duster and Regeki on your opponent's turn. And that's pretty busted, not gonna lie. Not like you're gonna really need the Harpy's Feather Duster in this format, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But, it's okay. So, other monsters we're playing, 3 King of the Swamp. This card's actually a lot better in this deck than more than just a Poly Searcher, because this, you may notice, all the Prank Kids cards don't require their exact fusion materials, so you can just fusion summon with King of the Swamp instead of a Prank Kid, and still get an effect that's like equally as effective. So I definitely appreciate the synergy that King of the Swamp has with this archetype. Hand traps, we're just playing 3 Ash and 2 Ogre, because, I've personally liked to put Ogre at 2 in a lot of my decks. I'm not really a big fan of Ogre as a 3 of in this current format, and I feel like it could come up at like another one, but as of right now, monster negating effects are the way to go, which is why we're also playing 3 Infinite Impermanence, because Infinite Impermanence is probably one of, if not the best hand trap of the format. I really want to say it's Ash Blossom or Droll and Lockbird, but no. It's the $80 secret rare that I've only ever had 1 of, and I sold it for Smash Ultimate. Remember, kids, don't make investments. They'll kill you, and then you'll die, or something like that. Spell cards. 3 Prank Kids House, or I guess Prank Kids Place in the TCG. This card has a really good first effect and some okay second effects. The first effect is obviously great because it tutors itself for any Prank Kids monster, but the second and third effects are really only for covering up your effect chain. So if they would hit something with an Ash, they can't, because you'd be chaining that as Chain Link 3 instead of one of your stray Prank Kids being Chain Link 3. So if they want to Ash you and you have Prank Kids Place, like, that's definitely going to help you out in the long run. Other Prank Kids spells, 2 Prank Kids Prank. This card doesn't come up very often in the deck, but if you've bricked, it can be nice. It also just helps recur resources, and I'm a somewhat, I somewhat like this card. I wouldn't call it the best card they have, but in situations where you only have 1 Prank Kids card in your hand and you have Prank, that's very good. So I definitely recommend playing 2 of that at least. The other one is Prank Kids Pandemonium. This card is I'm a little bit torn on it. I don't think it's bad, but at the same time, I think that it's just because it's a quick play Poly doesn't make it the best card. So to say, it's not exactly what the fusion spell I would imagine for this archetype would be, but at the same time, it's a quick play fusion spell, and you want to be summoning your big boss monsters on your opponent's turn, because, you know, kind of need to, otherwise you're just gonna, like, die. So, you know, plus, like, all your floating effects are, reset once you go to your opponent's turn, so you definitely want to be fusion summoning for Battle Butler on their turn, then floating. So, now just 2 Pandemonium. Other cards, 3 instant fusion to get to Rocket really easily. Rocket is probably the second best monster in your main deck, or extra deck, I mean. The card's absolutely insane. It summons 2 Prank Kids, and honestly, I love this card. I think that's very, very good. So, 3 Poly, obvious card is obvious. 2 Terraforming gets you to house, and it's semi-limited. Oof. And then the last traps are like the obvious 3 Impermanence and the 2 Super Schemes. Super Schemes, very strong. I originally underestimated this card, but it's very, very essential to Prank Kids. So I would definitely say run that as a 2 of. And yeah, that's basically it for the main deck. Your extra deck consists of 1 Battle Butler, it's your big boss monster. You only need 1 because you're going to be putting it back in the extra deck anyways. 2 Rockets because, you know, this card gets you your main advantage, lets you link summon, all that jazz. Prank Kids Weather, because this card, it's not amazing, but I'm still going to play 2 of it because it can serve as some decent protection. 1 Exciton and 1 Toad, because, you know, Roxy's and Dropsies are cards. Your links, the 1 Rorgon, I guess Rip, Roarin' Roaster in the TCG. It's an amazing name change, much better than Totally Awesome. My philosophy on it is if a deck is meant to be silly, make the card name silly too. Don't just make something like Totally Awesome for a deck that has nothing to do with being silly or stupid. Bow Wow is a 2 of in the deck. Not your best link, but can help for pushing for OTKs. And same goes to Prank Kids Doodle. Oh wait, did I say this card isn't good? I meant this card's literally amazing. It searches you a Prank Kids Pandemonium, and attributes itself to add things to the hand, aka the cards you send off of fansies. Please, for the love of God, always play Doodle. It's so good. You're also playing 1 Link Kuriboh because it can come up sometimes, and then the Boral Sword and Boral Load because they can get you out of some situations. Overall, there's not very much I'd change about the main deck, but I'm definitely a fan of this archetype. So let's get right on into the replays. Starting off with replay number 1, it is Prank Kids versus Cyber Dragon. Starting off with our standard play of fusion summoning for Rocket, masking it up with House so that we don't get negated, sending Super Scheme off of Fansies, which you always want to do, using your 2 Prank Kids that you summoned off of your other 2 to go into Doodle since they float. You know, using Doodle Tribute for Super Scheme and just a random Prank Kids, setting your fusion spell in that, and then passing. It's fusion for Battle Butler, and all those are going to float into 4 more monsters. So your opponent set up their board, and then you just have a Regeki and an Ash, and then you got a Harpy's Feather Duster next turn, like, or not next turn, like this turn too, because you have a Super Scheme set. It's like, this board's insane, honestly. So, you know, I'm just going to Regeki here, and he's going to summon a Cyber Dragon, and, you know, he just quits there. I mean, what are you exactly supposed to do against all of this? This is absolutely mental. Replay number 2 is against True Draco. You know, hit by the ban list a couple times, nothing that we can't handle. We're going to mask up our other effects with Rocket, just because we don't want them getting ashed, if anything. So we're going to go into Doodle. You know, standard plays, you just want to, you know, summon as many Prank Kids as possible. You know, get a board full of at least Fansies, Dropsies, and Flamesies. Set your fusion spell and your scheme and pass. Your opponent's going to summon Order here. No biggie. no, border's not going to stop you from doing anything too drastic. We can't use Battle Butler here because of border, but not like it's that big of a deal. He's going to pop our Super Scheme, which kind of sucks, but you know, he's swinging into Flamesies, going to get a Heritage here. We get to just get everything back into the deck. Beats over one of our Flamesies, but that's no big of a deal. His demise was awful. We were chaining Battle Butler, going into Bow Wow, dropping Roxy's, go off, Dropsy summons another Roxy's, and Roxy summons another drop. We make Roargon, and then at this point we get to use Roxy's and Pulses or whatever. And then we go into a Weather, and then we swing for game. Alright, replay number 3 is against the new Dark Magicians with their brand new Ritual Monster. Not making a video on this stuff because it's kinda subpar, but I definitely am a fan of these cards. We're gonna activate House to bait the Magician of Chaos. Now all we really have to worry about is Eternal Soul, but it's not like Eternal Soul is gonna do him much good anyways. You know, we're going to summon our standard Prank Kid plays, you know, do all that jazz. Making Roargon here preemptively. Honestly, I will admit I did misplay here. I should have waited for him to flip Eternal Soul before I summoned Roargon, but it doesn't matter too much in the end. We're gonna get to summon Battle Butler next turn, you know, getting our floating effects of our Prank Kids off. He's gonna Indulgence for 6 here. And then he gets to draw 2. I think Indulgence is a very cool card. I might put it in some stuff later on. You know, we're burning him, gaining life points, summoning Prank Kids. I do summon 2 Roxy's here because I want to make Excite on next turn, but I do manage to make him try to banish my thing. You know, Battle Butler comes out. I draw Prank Kids Prank, not an essential top deck here. We go for Bow Wow, Fansies, gets to send some stuff, doesn't get to summon because we're out of targets. He has 1,000 life points left, we're going to summon Doodle. Doodle gets us House, we're going to summon, we're not summoning, we're putting those back, we're summoning Bow Wow, burning him for 500. Bow Wow is going to tribute itself next turn, obviously. Putting stuff back into the deck with Prank. We've drawn Impermanence, not that best of a draw. It would have been better if it was any other hand trap. We're just going to get a Chain Link 3 here. He's dodging our Super Scheme, so he doesn't take that extra damage, but we still get to put all our resources back in our deck. So for that one house, RIP Prank Kid's house, we get to summon Doodle with the Flamesies that we've drawn, and he takes 500, and we summon Roxy's and win. Alright, replay number 4, I believe it is. So we don't really have a setup here. We have to set Impermanence past, but that's more than enough to be Cleefort. I love Cleefort. I'm a very big advocate for the deck, but yeah, that situation happens way too many times. So we are able to, he does actually make a really good play here, I won't lie. He uses Carrier to bounce his Scout back to his hand. Never seen that happen before, and it's rad. But we are able to Impermanence the Shell here, so he doesn't get a second attack. We draw Poly, that is a godsend. We're getting multiple Prank Kids effects off. We're summoning Dropsies and Flamesies, I think? No, we're summoning Roxy's. We're going to get our 2 things. We're going to summon Doodle. Doodle's going to search us on the loose. All those Prank Kids are going to get to do us all this business. We draw Impermanence. That Impermanence is going to be very useful later. We accidentally go into the battle phase, but it's okay because we're not attacking this turn anyways. It's use Doodle, add some stuff to our hand. He's going to use Scout. Places in the same column as Impermanence, which I find hilarious. He's going to summon a whole bunch of monsters, and little does he know, Prank Kids on the Loose exists. And yeah, you can see his misplay. I'd quit in this scenario too. For our final replay, we are playing against Blackwings. Now, Blackwings recently got a whole bunch of support, and it's actually not that bad. I see a lot of people ragging on this Blackwing support a lot, and I don't understand it. It's really good support. So he's going to use Nathung here. He did have a full Armor Master, which I admit would be a little difficult for us to get over, but it's not the end of the world even if he does have it, because House is a card that exists. So, you know, we're just going to mask up all our effects. We're going to burn them, you know, to draw cards here. And to go into Doodle. Doodle's going to search us on the loose. We get to summon some more prank kids. Just have a ball, dude. We're gonna tribute that. Gonna put some stuff back, activating house, and then set our stuff and our turn. We do have Ghost Ogre in hand to prevent some potential stuff. You know, we get some Battle Butler. House is gonna go off. Wipe that board. I did want to play around Decode a lot there, but you know, doesn't even matter. We got Rorgon, baby. Like, look at this boy. 3,000 attack Harpy's Feather Duster on legs. Like, how are you out in that? How are you out in that with your little Table 500 Bird Boy deck? Now, I will admit, as of recording this, Raid Raptor got a Link monster that really helps out Blackwings to an extent. He's gonna try to swing. You know, not very successful in that. But as I was saying, like, they did get a Link monster, very solid Link monster to say the least. It does help out Blackwings a lot, but it's nothing like too game breaking for them. And I hate to say that, but because it's a needle fiber for like winged beasts that are dark. But yeah, it's not going to break that deck. We make Boral Sword here. It's pretty obvious what's about to happen. Yeah, that 4,050 right to the face. And those were the replays. At the end of the day, I think that this deck will not be meta because of the reliance on polymerization and your fusion summons and whatnot, but there's also a lot of going first elements to this deck, and I don't think that going second is necessarily impossible for this deck. I think that you can play through some things, but in the current meta right now, where like Sky Strikers are setting like double Widow Anchor and have hand traps and stuff, Goki's making extra link boards, and Thunder Dragon's just shutting down most of your engine entirely, I don't think this deck's going to be the most meta breaking deck, but I definitely think it'll be a very solid rogue deck, and I think that it might be able to see some, you know, nationals tops. You know, might get into top 16 if they're lucky. But I don't think it'll be very meta, so to say. But who knows? We're in off season. I mean, it could happen. Whenever, you know, we get some big event happen. But for the most part, prank kids are just kind of here now, and there's no reason to really call them bad. I don't think that they're a bad archetype, but I also don't think that they're very good archetypes in terms of competitive value. And for those of you that are complaining about this deck because we have prank kids Roxy's in here, don't. Just don't. Prank Kids Roxy's is literally necessary for the deck, and the deck is not going to be at its full force until this card comes to the TCG in the special editions. So, yeah, you'd better be hyped for Roxy's, because Roxy's is very, very strong, just because it's another Prank Kids monster that floats. But yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Make sure to, you know, insert funny meme here. Words. Make sure to say words. That's pretty cool. And smoke. Destroy your lungs. Make your family hate you because you've been smoking for 20 years. Gangnam Style. Goodbye.